ci pagare. Ma che mi sta sotto?
Santa Sofia, 3 ottobre 2024, aggiornamento ore 18. Questa mattina avevo fatto il più del fiume.
Experts warn that such events are becoming more frequent due to climate change, especially in the southern Europe. Palermo Mayor Robert Gallo called the government assistant say this is no longer a seasonal storm. This is a climate emergency. We need to urgent investment in infrastructure and prevention. No casualties have been confirmed, but dozens of people have been received medical attention and injured in the shock. The Italian government has promised to assess the damage and provide funds to clean up in the coming days. Sicily is beginning in lightly clean up the storm is stark reminder of increasing unpredictability of nature in the face of global warming. Meanwhile, firefighters from all over Italy were sent to reinforce refuse force. Social media is flooded with the images and dramatic rescue operations. Children begin lifted from rooftops, elderly people begin to carry out throughout the waist deep water, and pain being saved from the daunting. The hashtag Sicilia Scotta Aqua were become popular throughout the country. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni expressed solidarity with the region, promised no community will be left without the help. We will rebuild our support every affected family. In Messina, landslides blocked major highway, isolated several mountains village. Farmers in Sicily reported several damaged crops with the olive groves and a vineyard underwater. One of the local farmers, Antonio Bellini, said, "We have lost half of our harvest. We haven't seen rain like this in 40 years." Temporary shelters were established in community center and church for families who were forced to leave their homes. Volunteers are working around the clock to distribute food, blankets of our necessities. Experts warn that the Mediterranean region is becoming increasingly vulnerable to such storm. In the recent report by European Environmental Agency, Sicily was identified as a climate hotspot facing rising sea levels, heat waves, and now extreme rainfall. As the sky begins to clear, attention turned to recover. Damage assessment, no ongoing to questions are being raised about the urban planning, drainage system, and early warning protocols. But for many Sicilians, healing will take no longer. As a Giuliano Manga, whose home was destroyed, it said with the tears here years. We survived but now lost everything. Now we have started all over again. Coastal town in rural village in Sicily have experienced some of the worst damage. The agriculture sector, which is crucial in the island economy, have been hit hard, with the fields and cars destroyed in the rising waters. Landslides have cut off aces of several mountains region, complicating rescue efforts. The situation remains real, with the emergency crew working around the clock to respond to new incident and then arise. In the second turn of event, Italy was thrown into chaos as a process storm wreaked havoc across the picturesque landscape of Sicily and Rome. The unrelated tempest, reminiscent of a scene of Dante's Inferno, left a trail of destruction in its wake, testing the resilience of these Italian people and their determination of republic their beloved cities. Sicily, now in the straddling Mediterranean coastal line and historic term, is almost hardest hit by violent tempest. The island, unusually a sure weather, were charged in the turbulent sea of fury, pouring the curse and related force. Torrential rain, accompanied by gale force wind, battered the region, caused widespread flooding, triggering landscape and uprooted centuries-old trees. Italy is grappling with a severe flooding after days of relentless rain, particularly affected with the northern region of the country. Torrential downpour have caused rivers to swell, burst their banks, and inundate towns and villages. The latest episode of flooding have left authorities struggling to cope with the growing crisis, with the thousands of people evacuated from their homes. The region of Emilia-Romagna, Lombardy, and Veneto have been among the hardest hit. In Emilia-Romagna, widespread damage to infrastructure have been reported, with the roads submerged, bridges washed away, and homes flooded. Several rivers, including the Po and the Agrio, have reached critical levels, forcing emergency service to respond rapidly to prevent further damage. The situation have been compounded the landslides in hilly areas, blocked roads, and insulated communities. Residents found themselves stranded in their homes, waiting for rescue teams to arrive. The heat of Italy, Rome, and entire city forced in all shared challenges at the Colosseum, an enduring symbol of Rome history, stood the silent weather the raging storm as rain and wind threatening to erode an instant forecast. Trees turned into rivers and historic positions became waterlogged that caused extensive damage of city infrastructure. Italian authorities renovated their epoch-changing response to time of crisis point of action. Emergency service working tirelessly to rescue those trapped in the rising floodwaters and restore essential service helicopters. However, over submerged areas, airlifting residents to safety, though firefighters braved elements to reach those in need. Sicily, Italy's largest island, has been hit one of the strongest storms in recent times. One of the night of June 27, several weather warnings brought more than 180 millimeters of rainfall in just 20 hours, more than the region usually received in entire month. This was hit area where Palermo, Catania, Angindra, and Messina were the hardest hit. Authorities confirmed that at least 3 people died as a result of the flooding electrocutions. Among the victims was a 45-year-old man from the town of Piazza, who was trapped in this car where sudden flood inundated in low light unprecedented. In Palermo, emergency service responded more than 14 calls in one night. More than 120 homes were reportedly flooded in historic districts of Calza and Palermo. In the town of Agern and Mount Etna, landslides to the evacuation more than 17 residents, while the rescue volunteers injured several persons. Power outage affected nearly 30,000 homes. An emergency company, Eneas, sent dozens of repair crews on the island. Rain severe between Catania and Syracuse was suspended, and yet Falcon Belen Airport, 15 flights were delayed or diverted due to heavy rain and a wind gust exceeded 19 km/h.